Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Now I'm going to apologize right off the bat about my voice. It's probably going to go in and out. I just recovered from a flu bug. That's 2 this year. And I'm counting because usually I don't get sick, but this year it's been my time, I guess. But I'm recovering. I'm on the road to recovery, and I'm excited to share a card with you. We're using the Photoplay paper, A Day at the Zoo collection. This is a 12 by 12 collection. There's lots of fun pattern papers, some stickers, and cut aparts in here. For our card today, we're going to be using some pattern papers and stickers. But we're also going to be using this on a WIPER card. I've never made a WIPER card. I thought it would be super fun. Now, Photoplay paper has these Maker Series cards, and folios too they also have. But these make it so easy to create because Photoplay does all the scoring for you, and you do just gluing basically. There is sometimes a little bit of fussy cutting, but for the most part, Photoplay does the work for you. And I love the price point on these. This kit here makes 3 WIPER cards. We're just going to make 1 today. Now, if you've never made a WIPER card, what it does is, this is an A2 panel, okay? And this is what the front looks like. You write your message on the back. But when you pull the left and the right side of your card, this little element here pops out, so you have a kinetic motion, and the surprise just pops out. So that's why I thought this little zoo collection would be really fun. We're going to make a birthday card with this. So I'm going to go ahead and also share some dice paper. If you're unfamiliar with dice paper, Photoplay has this sheet here. This is a 12 by 12 sheet, and it's great. The price point on 12 by 12 sheets of single sheets of paper is fabulous, okay? So 1, is economical, but 2, it's meant to coordinate with the die set. This has a stamp set that goes with this collection. If you don't like coloring, the dice paper does it for you. If you don't mind fussy cutting, you don't need the die set, which makes it great. And also, I do want to mention that inside the die set, you see the colored paper back here. It's made with a real smooth cardstock, and this is a bonus Color Me sheet. So basically what Photoplay did was stamp the images that coordinate with the dice for you. So if you want to practice color, or if you don't want to buy the stamp set but want the dice paper and want the dies, you can still color, which makes it really nice and convenient. We're just going to use the dies to color out. We're just going to use the dies to die cut out some of our elements for our card today. We're going to make a birthday card like I mentioned, so we're going to jump in and get started. First, we're going to start by die cutting out some of our dice paper. For my card today, we're going to make a birthday card, and I noticed here on the dice paper you have happy birthday from the whole zoo, and I thought we would make a WIPER card that the little pop-up element on the front, it doesn't look like there's very many animals, but when you open it, you see the whole zoo. Well, not the whole zoo, but pretty close to the whole zoo. So that's what we're going for today. So we're going to start by taking the coordinating dies, and I'm going to die cut out a zebra, some of the leaves here, the lion, the bird, the cheetah, and a couple of these leaves also. And we'll go ahead and do that. I love that in the die set, Photoplay paper has a bonus Color Me sheet. And this is the quality Color Me sheet. It's perfect for alcohol markers. It's very smooth. Now I'm going to go ahead and separate these dies. They're very easy to separate. It lines up really beautifully. And what I like to do is take my scissors and trim these out individually. And then I can put the rest of the paper back in my collection pack. So I'm going to do my die cutting, and I will be right back. I have all of my elements from the dice paper die cut out, and boy, this sure does save a lot of time. I'm going to go ahead and grab some pattern papers. Okay, and we have our papers trimmed down. And I'm going to go ahead and open up our WIPER card. Again, there's three WIPER cards you can create with this. The nice thing is Photoplay has very easy to read step-by-step instructions on the inside. And these have steps 1 through 7. Super duper easy to read. And we're going to need one of these. We're going to need one of these. And we're going to need one of these. So this one is just 3 pieces. Now let me lay this out to where we're going to be putting these on our card front panel here. Okay. So first of all, this will be the bottom. This is going to go here. Okay. So I want this to have a little bit of greenery, so that's where the green comes in. I want to create a panel that measures 2 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. 2 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, that will go here. Okay, and then I'm going to take this print here and I'm going to create a panel that measures 3 inches by 4 inches. 3 inches by 4 inches, and this is going to go for my background on top. I have a little bit of the pattern paper left over, and so I'm going to trim this down at the 4-inch mark. Actually, we'll trim this down at the 5 1/4 inch mark. And then using my scissors, I'm going to go ahead and freehand a heel. Now your heel doesn't have to be perfect. It could be 1 heel or 2 heels, because for the most part we're going to be covering it with stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and just create some big and small heels here, like so. And then this is going to go on this panel right here. For our final pattern paper, I need some strips that will fit inside the score lines here. So we need to trim down 2 1-inch strips. 1 and 2. And our panel size here is 5 1/2 inches, but I need a little bit of a white border. So we're going to trim these down to 5 1/4 inches. And then these will fit right in here, like so. I have a little bit of pattern paper left, and just for some added interest, I'm going to trim this down to 4 inches, the same width as this, and I'm going to create a heel here too. I think that will work out nicely in the background, maybe a little bit shorter. I think that's a good heel. Okay, so that's all of the cutting for our pattern paper. Now, for our bottom panel, we have score lines, and I don't want the pattern paper to break. So what we're going to do is glue both of these together, just using some strong adhesive. We'll tack both of these down. I'm going to take this panel, and on this panel my score lines are over here on the left side, okay? We're going to center it, and then I'm going to use a pencil, and I'm going to mark where I want to trim. Actually, I'll use a pen. I don't think you'll be able to see. I'm going to mark right at the score line here. Get both score lines, like so. And then I'll take my paper trimmer. We'll take our paper and we will trim at the score line. So we have 3 panels. Now that one. We'll take our, now that we have our 3 panels, I'll add some glue behind here. We'll take our first panel. I'm going to go right up to the score line. And we make sure that's centered here. I'll add my second panel. Okay, so that's adhered. We have a continuous pattern. And now what we can do is create our fold. So what we're going to do is take our panel, we're going to fold in. I'm going to bring in my bone folder. I'll reinforce this score line. We're going to flip it over. And then I'm going to fold in. We're going to create a Z fold with this. And we'll reinforce that score line. Oops. I need to add a little more glue here. Okay, so this panel is done. This panel is a little bit easier. What we're going to do is take this, go ahead and flip it around, add some glue. We'll tack this to the upper portion, leaving a little bit of a white border. And we'll just go ahead and add our heel directly behind it. Layering those together. We'll take our 1-inch strips. We're going to add this one right in the middle. The nice thing about the score lines is it's a great guide on how to center it. And then we have this open area. We're going to adhere this last one when the card's put together, okay? Now to create the fold on this card, it's very easy. I'm going to fold at this second fold score line. We'll fold it in. I'm going to use my bone folder here. And then we're going to create that Z fold once more. Flip it over to where the end is facing the right. And then we can reinforce this one. And so our card looks like this for the base. So this is the base and this is the bottom. It's coming together very easily, huh? Now we have this piece. I'm going to take my scissors, and the nice thing is you just follow along the printed area. Now, if you're not a great fussy cutter, you don't have to worry about this because this is going to be hidden and nobody will ever see that you're not a great fussy cutter. After your score line is reinforced, what we're going to do is take this bottom panel. We are going to hold this first flap and then flip it over. So you have one score line showing here. We're going to call this a boot. Hold it like a boot, okay? Fold in that score line like a boot, okay? And then you're going to add some adhesive to the back side. And then you're going to take your boot and basically line up the corner. You see the top corner and this line up perfectly, and this is overhanging on top. When you glue this down, you want to make sure that you don't glue this part of the boot just below the score line here and put it up in that corner, you see? Just right here. This is what it looks like when it's folded down. When it's opened, it looks like this. Now what we're going to do is flip this panel around. Okay, I'm going to add some glue here on this side. And I'm going to add some glue over here. I'm adding glue to about 1 inch section on this side and then on the score line side here. Okay, we're going to take our panel, put it down here on the bottom left corner. Just make sure that tacks down. Okay, and since we already have glue behind this section here, I'm going to go ahead and secure that. You can Z-fold your card here and secure this right over the top. Just hold that down so it grabs. Or you could do the opposite end. So it'll lie flat. Now, if you want to do the opposite end, Just make sure your mechanism doesn't stick on that pattern paper. Make sure this little tab pops out, and then you can hold it down here. You see how easy that was to put together? And now this is flat, completely flat. Okay, but if you close it, there's almost no dimension to it. You just want to make sure, you see how that pops up? When you pull this side and this side, it just pops up. Now we're going to finish off by putting our strip here, our final strip of pattern paper. Just so the card looks a little bit more finished. And that's what it looks like. Now is the super fun part, okay? Now we get to create a little scene. So for this, I'm going to be using our die cuts that we used with our dies paper. And my idea was, when the card is closed, to just see one animal on a scene. But when you open it up, this pops out that says happy birthday from the whole zoo. And when you open up the card, you're going to see a whole lot of animals. I think that's going to be really fun. We're going to grab our sticker sheet. And I really like the zoo. We're going to take this along with, I love the palm tree here. And now we get to close this up because this way I know where I'm going to put things here. I'm going to line up my tree right along the edge here. And to make it a little bit taller, I'll hide the bottom edge with our zoo. And the zoo will fit perfectly on the front, which is an A2 size card. So this will fit right now into an envelope beautifully. Now I do have a little bit of tackiness behind my tree. Now you could do two things. You can use your Antistatic powder tool and add some powder behind here so it's not tacky. Or you could put a little bit of cardstock behind here. Okay, after we have this adhered, I thought we would add our zebra. Now the zebra is going to be strategically placed because I want it to cover. I'm not sure if all of my animals are going to fit behind this tab here. So I'm gonna open this up. First we're going to take our lion, and I'm going to go ahead and add some glue here, and we will tack down our lion. Now I'm going to make sure that my lion will tuck inside. You see? You always want to make sure that you check to see if everything will fit. Because basically you have this wall here that's kind of a stopper. So always check after you adhere one down. But isn't that so cool? I just think that's just the neatest thing. Now we have our lion, and I thought we would add a little bit of toucan sitting with the lion. So I'm just going to add a little glue to the feet of the lion. Now I don't know if this is going to tuck. We'll see. And it tucks just fine, I think. Let's try it again. Let's wait for the glue to adhere. And it looks like our toucan is tucking pretty good too. So far so good. Let's have our bird here, flying up here. I think we need a zebra or a giraffe in here. I'm going to add a giraffe. On this side. The giraffe's tail's overhanging, but I'm going to trim that off. Okay. And here, you know, rather than use the cheetah in our dice paper, I think I'm going to use the cheetah in our sticker instead, in our sticker set. And we'll go ahead and add the cheetah. We have some leaf stickers. I'm going to take a couple of the leaf stickers and we're going to add some to the bottom here. Maybe we can bring in a little bit more color down here. And I think that's going to work out beautifully. So it folds lovely. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some glue behind my zebra, only halfway from the bottom. Oops. And we'll tack down our zebra on top of our zoo sign. Wonderful. I'm going to use a foam square behind this leaf here. And we'll add this next to our zebra for a little bit of dimension on our card. For our sentiments, we have 3 sentiments. I'm not sure I'm going to use Wild About You. I may. We'll see. But I do want to put Happy Birthday on the inside. Okay, and then we have A Day at the Zoo. I'm going to switch the A Day at the for a sentiment. This says, "It's your day, go wild." And I'm going to place this right over that sentiment there. And we'll use some foam squares for this. For a little bit more dimension. Wonderful. Okay, and do we want to add a Wild About You in the background here? I think I am. I'm going to flip this around and we will add some foam squares behind I'm Wild About You, making sure our card's flat. I'll go ahead and add that. I think that's a great spot for it. We could actually turn that into a sign by just taking a piece of white cardstock. Actually, if I can cut straight. There we go. And then we can add a little bit of glue behind here. And we can do a little tucking with this. And I think that's just what our card needed. That little strip looks like a little sign. It doesn't obstruct our happy birthday. And I'm not going to add any bells or whistles. I think this card's pretty fully loaded. And I love that when you open it up, you see all the zoo animals. But when you close it, you just see our little zebra. And you see the little monkey there too. But I just love the way this WIPER card works. It's super fun. I just think it's, I think the recipient's going to have more fun than I am, I hope. But I hope you get a chance to check out the Photoplay papers, A Day at the Zoo 12x12 collection pack. It's brand new and part of their latest release, and it's super fun. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.